East Tokomariro Radio. Kia ora and welcome to Call Centre with me, Ngaire Bennett. East Tokomariro Radio has been deemed an essential service, and me and my producer Joan are here to answer questions and offer advice. No phone calls today, I'm afraid. Joan normally mans the phones, but she's worried the Corbyn-19 will come down the 5G, so we're only taking emails today. Drop us a line at callcentre@thegoogles.co.nz. So, here we are, a couple of weeks into lockdown. How's everybody's sanity? I'll be honest, I am thrilled to be out of the house today. My husband Noel is getting on my very last nerve. He's developed a little nervous tic. I think it's the anxiety. He keeps going, Now, he knows he's doing it, and it drives him crazy too, bless him. But I'm going to need you all to pray extra hard for me, because if I hear that just one more time, then I swear to the merciful baby Jesus, I'm going to clamp a cushion to Noel's stupid chirping face and just hold it there until the twitching stops. Now then, ooh, gosh, speaking of weird noises, did you hear that, Joan? Can you hear that? I don't know if... Is that being broadcast, or is that just... It's just in my headphones? Can we try to get that cleaned up, please? Apologies, listeners. Slight technical hitch here. I hope it's not affecting your listening. Having a wee look at the community notice board. Well, there is not a lot going on out there. This Saturday's regular child swap at the Memorial Hall has been cancelled. So I'm afraid if you didn't manage to exchange your children before the lockdown, then you are now stuck with the ones you've got. Lots of businesses closed, of course. Maureen, the mobile masseuse, remains open, but will only be giving massages from a distance of 2 metres, which she hopes to achieve using an inflated rubber glove and a big stick. After a record turnout in February, the Tokomariro Surface Licking Society is on hiatus until further notice. That's a shame. It's a lovely family day out. Oh, breaking news. A gentleman thought to be of foreign extraction has been spotted in the streets of Toko North, walking unaccompanied near the vegan cafe. He has been described as swarthy and of unknown intent. Now, this may well be nothing, but we'll keep you posted on that. Call Centre, Call Centre, Call Centre, Call Centre. Okay, let's go to the emails. Anna says, Hi Ngaire, have you ever visited the old sod cottage, the historic landmark in Tokomariro? Should we add it to the bucket list once level 4 is lifted? Oh Anna, now I am going to make an assumption here that you are a visitor to our beautiful country, because I can't think of a single Kiwi who hasn't been to the old sod cottage. It's a lovely little miner's cottage. It's more than 160 years old. It's all kitted out like it would have been back in the 1860s. So yes, absolutely. Once the 5 or 6 or 8 weeks of isolation are over and you're allowed back out of the squalid, tortured incarceration of your tiny little camper van, then yes, you should definitely visit the old sod cottage. Just watch out for the old sod who lives there. That's a very, very funny joke here in Tokomariro. Oh, Joan is passing me a note. 2 metres, please, Joan. I don't know where you've been. Thank you. And, apparently after suffering a burglary in December, the old sod cottage is closed indefinitely. Oh, that's a shame, Anna. It must have been nice to have something to look forward to. Still, I hope you're enjoying your stay in New Zealand. Lizzie from East Tokomariro says, Hi Ngaire, what's the best way for the youth to entertain themselves in Toko East? Thank you, Lizzie. Well, I don't know what age group you're dealing with, but in my humble and yet absolutely correct opinion, there is no wrong age to start them on the Bible. Noah's Ark is a lovely story for the little ones. That one is only a teensy bit genocidal. Or if you have teenagers at home who are all about the heavy metal music and think they're too cool for Sunday school, maybe try luring them in with the Book of Revelation. Now, let's see how boring they think the Bible is when they read about horses who have tails of serpents and the heads of lions spitting fire and sulphur from their mouths. when fully 1/3 of the peoples of the earth lay lifeless and slain, when the angels cry, there is war in heaven, and the kingdom is plunged into darkness, when the trumpets sound and the cities of every nation fall, and there is a great wailing and gnashing of teeth, when death rides out astride a pale horse, and hell follows in his wake, when the great beasts rise up from the sea, when the whore of Babylon is above us in the sky, and we watch her grow drunk on the blood of saints, when locusts eat the flesh of men, and men shall beg for death, but none shall come. But again, maybe just start the little ones on Noah's Ark, or Jonah and the Whale. That's a cute one. Go Sinta, go Sinta, go Sinta, go Sinta. Romy. I'm not sure how to pronounce that or where you are from, but it sounds very exotic, very, not from here. Romy asks, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you enjoy dressing like a woman? Gosh, Romy, I would have to say, scale of 1 to 10, I think. 6. Scott from East Tokomariro says, how should I vote in the upcoming cannabis and euthanasia referendum? Another good question, and personally, Scott, I am planning to vote no and yes, although in what order I have yet to decide. Darren from East Tokomariro says, hi Ngaire, what's your take on transgender individuals within the world of competitive sport? Goodness, Darren, that's a thorny subject, isn't it? Turf wars, I call them. I'm sure you all know this, but if you don't, a TERF is a trans-exclusionary radical feminist, someone who, broadly speaking, doesn't think that a trans woman is a woman, or at least not in the same way that a cisgender woman is a woman. And that's become a point of contention when it comes to things like female safe spaces, public restrooms, for example, or trans women who may have grown up as men and have quite masculine physiques competing against cisgender women in competitive sports. Now, speaking as a woman and a feminist, I can tell you that women have throughout history been abused and oppressed, and we've had to fight very hard for our safe spaces. And then you have transsexuals who throughout history have been abused and oppressed and have to fight very hard for their safe spaces. So I think it's a real shame that two oppressed groups who might normally be allies find themselves at loggerheads when each is simply trying to find some form of safety and self-determination. So, what can we do to fix this? Well, believe it or not, the answer is incredibly obvious. All we do is so that whingy bitches, absolute freak show, rise up as one, suck the marrow of capitalist bones. And once that has happened, moonlit rituals, naked in the forest, nipples like thumbs. Then simply apply the same principle to Palestine, job done. There you go, Darren. I hope that sorted it all out for you. Send us an email to me, Ngaire Bennett, at callcentre@thegoogles.co.nz. Oh, and a quick update on the foreign-looking gentleman. Turned out to be a chihuahua near a bush. The combination of the two with the angle of the sun ended up casting an unusually long shadow reminiscent of a Hindu or a gypsy. So, nothing to worry about there, but at times like this, it's important to remain suspicious. So, well done, everybody. Call Centre, call Centre, call Centre, call Centre.